What is up, YouTube? This is JD coming at you with another video. Just hail to the Redskins. Stuck in traffic, so just going to do a little bit of talking. This is basically just going to comment on a couple things. We kind of dodged a bullet. We really dodged a bullet, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. The Washington Redskins dodged a huge, massive bullet that is Kirk Cousins. And the reason why, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and rip on Kirk Cousins. You know, my channel, usually people think that's what it's all about. But the biggest issue that I have with Kirk Cousins is the simple fact that he was going to cost us an arm and a leg. Jimmy Garoppolo just got $35 million or something like that. And that's $27 million a year. He's played 7 games as a starter in the NFL. Okay, he's played 7 games as a starter. Sorry about that. Okay, so to be fair, I mean, Kirk Cousins, as much as I'm glad the Redskins are getting rid of him. He's going to get way more than $27 million a year. Way more than $27 million a year. Okay, because he's actually got a couple seasons under his belt, even though, in my opinion, he's declined every year. So we dodged the bullet. Someone's going to pay that guy $30+ million a year, and it's going to cost him $150+ million overall, $100 million guaranteed. And honestly, I'm just glad we don't have to pay that. I mean, that's why we went and got. Okay, I'm going to unplug it. There we go. That is why we went and got Alex Smith. Alex Smith agreed to a deal that benefited us because in a couple years, the market for quarterbacks is going to be over $30 million, and we're going to have Alex Smith for $24 million a year. By that time, the salary cap will go up, so we'll have a lot more expendable income to spend on the other parts of the team, like the defense and the offense, and so on and so forth. So it definitely benefited us to go ahead with Alex Smith, even though a lot of people don't think he's as good and he's older. I mean, Alex Smith has not shown any kind of decline in his play. In fact, there's nothing to prove that he hasn't gotten better every year. Statistically, his numbers get better every year. He expands his game a little bit every year. Like this year, he actually started throwing the ball downfield. And everyone says he has much more weapons in Kansas City. He does not have any weapons in Kansas City. He had 2 good players really. Okay, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs are my second favorite team. Okay, so with that being said, I watched all their games. There's times Tyreek Hill would vanish, and Travis Kelce would vanish and not do anything, or whatever case may be. So there was times when his players didn't show up, and everyone always says oh, Redskins receivers never show up. I will address this. I believe in my heart of hearts that the Reds. First off, there's reports coming out that a lot of receivers did not like Kirk Cousins. Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson hated Kirk Cousins. That's why they left. Okay? That's one reason why they left. They could not stand Kirk Cousins. There's reports now that a lot of receivers are unhappy with Kirk Cousins at this moment. Because here's what I personally believe. And I've watched game film, and everyone will not believe me when I say this. But guys are open, and Kirk won't throw the ball. He won't drive the ball downfield and go for deep balls or whatever case may be. He just won't do it. Okay? And and receivers know when they're open. Okay, I'm going to phrase that. They think they know when they're open, but I mean, there was an article out week 14 or something like that, where Jay Gruden came out and literally said, guys are open, Kirk does not throw to them. Okay? That's the head coach saying that guys are open and Kirk's too much of a wimp to throw the ball to them. I mean, it's not me. I'm not making that up. That's an article out there. Okay? So here's why here might be a reason why the receivers don't catch balls. Because I don't think receivers are expecting to get the ball thrown to them when they're open, because if you're open all the time, you never get the ball thrown to you. You get one of those things where you just throw your hands up in the air and you're just I'm done. I'm open all the time, and then when you get the ball thrown to you, you're surprised by it. Okay, so I think that's a little bit of it's a psychological thing that Kirk does to his receivers, that he doesn't throw the ball when they're open, and then all of a sudden he'll throw it, and they're surprised by it. That's the best way I can put that. Obviously, some guys they need to catch the ball. It's their job, but I don't think it was 100% the receiver's fault whenever a quarterback won't throw the ball to open receivers. According to Jay Gruden, and he's the head coach and the offensive coordinator, he should not, or he straight up said that guys are open and Kirk just won't throw the ball to them. So that's his opinion. I believe our head coach over our quarterback, considering our head coach gets access to every game film. Our head coach gets access to every angle possible. Now, I actually watch every game at every angle, too. I watch every game 3 times. First time I watch it normally. Second time I watch it like on TV. Second time I watch it with 6 camera angles. Third time I watch it again on TV. And on TV, it doesn't really show a lot. I mean, I wish they'd just pan out and let you see everything so people could see how open receivers are. A lot of people don't. They watch the ball when they play. You don't understand. When you watch the game on TV, the camera follows the ball. Okay? The camera follows the ball. So, and I actually plan on doing this. I'm going to do a film breakdown. I got all the games condensed, and I got them on file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a film analysis of every game. And, I mean, I'm going to talk fast, so you got to get through them. I'm going to do a film analysis on every single game that we have coming up this year. Okay? So, that we had last year, I should say. Not every game, but I got most of the games on there. Like, for example, there's no use going over the Raiders game. There's no use going over that game. There's some games that are just pointless to go over. But like the Eagles game, both of them, the Chiefs game, those are games that I can go over. So with that being said, we dodged the bullet with Kirk. And this is what I think the team needs to do to be better. I already gave my opinion on free agents. Okay, Jarvis Landry's out of the picture now because he got tagged. So he's out of the picture. So everything I said about that, just stick to it. Maybe we'll have a couple $1 million extra, or we can re-sign some of our free agents. I just saw that Chris Baker's a free agent. Don't go for Chris Baker. Do not go for Chris Baker. Sorry, just don't. We let go of him for a reason. If we get Chris Baker, all we're doing is giving ourselves an excuse not to draft a young defensive tackle prospect that could be our defensive tackle for the next 10 years. That's all we're doing for ourselves, is giving us an excuse not to draft somebody and to go for a sexy pick like a receiver. Okay? I still say we need to trade Jordan Reed for Emmanuel Sanders straight up. Okay? That's a good trade. They get a tight end. We get a receiver. It's the same amount of money. I think there's a $2 million difference. It's not going to kill us. It won't hurt them. They have a lot of cap space. So I think we're going to benefit from that. Also, I will say, I think Jay Gruden needs to get an offensive coordinator. He needs to stop calling plays. Here's why I think that. I don't think he's a bad play caller when that's his only duty. The problem is he's a head coach. When you're a head coach, you got a lot of stuff to think about and do over the course of a game. So what happens is when he's calling plays, he's got other stuff to do. He'll call basic plays because he's got other stuff to do. He can't really scheme and strategize what he needs to be calling properly while he's doing 5 other things. Like, for example, our clock management skills this year were god-awful. Clock management was so bad, it was god-awful. Okay? And our play calling was predictable. If we don't run the ball 5 times, if we run the ball 5 times, it's unsuccessfully, Bandits are running really quickly. Okay? I mean, as much as I don't like Kirk Cousins, he can sling the football. He can throw the ball a lot. And you can have a game where you can be semi-successful with him throwing the ball a lot. The problem with that is he just always takes the safe route rather than the one we're supposed to get. Okay, and I think Jay Gruden needs to not be calling plays anymore, because if he calls plays, he's gonna be predictable. It's the first thing. Second, it affects his ability to do other things as a head coach. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. It affects his ability to do other things as a head coach. Like time management. Okay, he doesn't manage the clock well. He doesn't make sure the right personnel's on the field. He doesn't do enough personnel substitutions. He doesn't make sure the defense is on point. Whenever they have a good defense, he can't go over there and high-five them and get them pumped up to go out there and do it again, because he got to immediately go back out and call plays. Okay? So I think it affects his ability to be effective over the entire course of the game. I just don't think it helps him. And with Alex Smith, I think Alex Smith just needs an offensive coordinator that's going to placate to his play. So not to mention, I don't think our offense was created very well last year. And what I mean by that is, this is what I thought. I thought we signed Terrell Pryor, and the goal there was just put Terrell Pryor in Pierre Garçon's role, and to move Jamison Crowder to Deshaun Jackson's role, and to move Ryan Grant to Jamison Crowder's role. You know, that's not a horrible idea, but it's not a great idea either, and here's why. Because not everyone, not everyone's exactly the same. Okay? Every player is not exactly the same. That's all I can say about that. Deshaun Jackson's the fastest player in the league. He's been the fastest receiver in the league for a long time. Maybe he's lost a step now, but he is the fastest receiver in the league. Okay? And you're putting Jamison Crowder in that place. Well, first off, Deshaun Jackson's so fast that all Kirk has to do is throw as deep as he can, and Jackson run and get it. Okay, so everyone claims that in 2016, you're like, oh, he had the most yards through the air. Like, well, no, he didn't. He threw the ball deep, and Deshaun Jackson ran and got it. There's a difference. Okay? If he was slinging the ball 20-yard passes left and right, you have a point. But when you're throwing the ball deep and you have the fast guy in the league that can run and get it, I mean, he still overthrew Deshaun Jackson a few times. He threw. I mean, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I'll go on a tirade about Kirk Cousins and his inability to throw the ball deep consistently. So, with that being said, I think it's going to help us if Jay Gruden does not be the offensive coordinator. Sean McVay was a pretty good offensive coordinator. The only downside I have with Sean McVay, he did not know how to get the ball in the end zone. Okay? He was not very good at getting the ball in the end zone when it comes to our quarterback scoring in the red zone. We need to be able to put the ball in the end zone. That's one of the biggest things, and I hope Alex Smith is up for the challenge. Now, here's the benefit of Alex Smith. We'll have a lot less turnovers. Okay? That's the first thing. We'll have a lot less turnovers. Here's the thing that people don't understand. I really think a lot of scheme is why we were successful this year. So let's speak a hypothetical here. What happens if Alex Smith comes in and he has like a 4,500 passing yard season, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he has like 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns? I mean, what's everyone going to say then? I mean, Kirk fans are the best because they have no logic. They have ill logic. They have lack of logic when it comes to discussing things. If a quarterback has 4,000 passing yards and half of them are yak yards, obviously he's not the reason why he's throwing 4,000 passing yards. Okay, 53% of Kirk's yards this year were yak yards. That means over 2,000 yards were yak yards. So what that means is Kirk is not throwing the ball for X amount of yards. He's throwing the ball for a smaller amount, and guys are running for more. Okay, so Alex Smith is check down Alex. So, but this year he opened up the playbook a little bit more, and I think we have better receivers than he dealt with overall. I mean, obviously Travis Kelce is light years ahead of Jordan Reed because he's healthier. Okay, because he stays healthy on a more constant basis. Tyreek Hill, yeah, I wish we had Tyreek Hill in the Redskins, but I think as an overall receiving core, we have a better receiving core. They don't have other than those two players, they don't have much. And when it comes to running back, Kareem Hunt was really good at running the football. So I really think P. Ryan needs to be our go-to back, unless we somehow luck up and Saquon Barkley falls in our lap. That's the only other way I'd say we should go with someone else. But with that being said, that's what I think the Redskins need to do. We need an offensive coordinator. I think Greg Minuski's fine. Everyone sits there and bitches that Greg Minuski didn't do well. At our best, this is my argument with people that don't like Greg Minuski. At our best, the Raiders game, that was the defense at their best. And our defense pecker smacked them. Okay? That was 100% healthy. Everyone was healthy. And everyone brought their A game. And we literally shut down. At the time, it was the best offense in the league. Shut them down. They only scored twice because our offense fumbled twice. Okay? They scored twice because our offense fumbled twice. Okay, so our defense is definitely something to be reckoned with whenever they're healthy. The problem was we didn't stay healthy after that. After that game, we were 2-1. We went and played the Chiefs, and like 8 members of our defense got injured. 4 starters and then 4 backups who just came in for those starters got injured that game. So that's why our defense wasn't successful. It's one thing to, I'm not saying there should be an excuse, but I think you should get a little bit of leeway whenever your defense at their best looked like what it was. Like our offense at its best, we never had our running game at its best was the line or against the Rams. That was our run game at its best. And our passing game, I really don't think we saw the best of our passing game this year. I really don't. I just think we were too much of a check down team. So that's just my opinion on that. I think our defense, and the defense got credited for a lot of things they did. It wasn't their fault. I'm going to go into this for 5 seconds. When our defense is quote getting credited for giving up 26 points per game, I think everyone needs to take a step back and be like, listen, that's not why our offense or why we gave up that many points per game. First game of the season, Kirk Cousins had 3 fumbles and an interception. And one of those fumbles led to a touchdown. One of those fumbles led to a field goal. One of those fumbles led to nothing. Okay, so there's 10 points. Okay, Jamison Crowder fumbled, led to a touchdown. There's 17 points. And then Kirk at the end of the game fumbled. No, I'm sorry, led to a field goal. I'm sorry. 13 points. And Kirk Cousins fumbled at the end of the game. And the ball ended up in I think it's Fletcher Cox's hands. He ran into the end zone. There's 20 points right there. So there's 20 points that the offense is responsible for. I just mentioned the Raider game. The Raiders got 10 points, and that's because the offense fumbled in the red zone, in the other team's red zone, like on the 20-yard line. So right there's in the first 2 of the first 3 games, there's 30 points that the offense is responsible for. Now I'll go through every game if you want to. I mean, seriously. I mean, we had another game was against the Chiefs. Chiefs got an extra touchdown against us at the end, but our defense is credited for giving up points. How is that our fault? How is that the defense's fault? It's ridiculous that people really don't watch the game and they look at the numbers and say, "Oh, see that." No, you're not crossing in front of me, bud. So you need to take it with a grain of salt. For example, in the Eagles game, first game of the year, the first touchdown our team scored was a pick 6 by Ryan Kerrigan. Pick 6 by Ryan Kerrigan. Okay, so I'm just getting into that our defense was not as bad as people thought. Now, a big part of our defense is that we need to fix, really, is a couple things. We need to definitely make sure we get a defensive tackle. Like someone that can stay healthy throughout the course of the year and someone to be a run stopper. We did not have any last year. We really didn't have any run stoppers last year. Okay, we had I think it was Phil Taylor or something like that, and he got injured. And then we ended up playing like defensive ends at defensive tackle spots. I mean, we were pretty good stopping the run early in the season. Like we played the Eagles, they got like 49 rushing yards in the first game, and we played the Raiders, and they got like 30 rushing yards in the game. And then we played the Rams, and they got they didn't get over. I think they got 80. So we did good early in the season. And those are games we actually did pretty well in, to be honest with you. And then once we started, not doing so hot in those games or stopping the run, that's when the rest of the teams are breaking apart. Okay, so everyone needs to look at a broad scope of our defense, not narrow in on one thing, like the defense, their yards per game, or all the rushing. A lot of it had to do with injuries, and defense is different than offense. Defense, your defense is in a reactionary position. What that means is you react to what the offense does. Okay. Offense is more, if you lose a receiver, you can plug another receiver in and still get that receiver open because we call the play and defense reacts to it. So you lose starters. When you lose starters, it just doesn't help that on defense, it doesn't help because starters get a lot of the reps throughout the course of the week to make sure they're as successful as possible. Jesus. So, what else can I talk about the Redskins? So, a quick sum up. I think the Redskins dodged the bullet with Kirk Cousins because you can't afford to pay a quarterback $30-some million a year and expect to build the rest of a team around him. They were talking about that on ESPN First Take yesterday. And the one guy says if it's your quarterback, if you believe that guy's your quarterback, you gotta go do it. And I completely disagree with that. I was like, if you can't waste that much money unless the guy is Aaron Rodgers. This is what I mean. This is what I mean about Kirk Cousins. And I'm not saying he's not worth money. I'm not saying he's not a good player. What I'm saying is he the system? If he's the system, like Aaron Rodgers, you can put any variety of talent around him, he'll succeed. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, so on and so forth. If they're the system, like they're the reason why the team's offense is going to go, then yeah, you pay that kind of money. But Kirk is not going to be the reason why the offense is going to go. Okay? He needs to have decent talent around him. Okay? And the thing about Kirk fans is they tried to say this year, like, oh, look at his numbers, it's because he has no receivers. I'm like, okay, so you're proving my point. He needs to have good receivers to be successful. So, but this is my video, and basically I'm stuck in traffic, so that's why I made it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm actually getting a lot of momentum with this channel, so I really appreciate everyone who watches, everyone who shares and subscribes. I mean, I'd like to, you know, be up there with the other top YouTube channels that talk about the Redskins. It'd be nice. So, appreciate your time. You guys have a good one. Hail to the Redskins. You know, we're not far away from free agency, and we're also not far away from the NFL draft, so I can't wait. See ya.